President Trump dropping the hammer on the possibility of socialism in New York City as he gives a stern warning to Democrat nominee Zohran Mamdani if he doesn't comply with ICE officials.
Well, then we'll have to arrest him. Look, we don't need a communist in this country, but if we have one, I'm going to be watching over him very carefully on behalf of the nation. We send him money. We send him all the things that he needs to run a government. But right now, he's a communist. That's not a socialist.
Peter Lumaj is an immigration attorney and a former U.S. Senate candidate who fled communist Albania and joins me now. Peter, walk us through what the slippery slope of communist policies would mean, not just for New York City if Mamdani is elected, but for our nation as a whole.
Look, I was born and raised in a communist country, and I know what it means. I've seen that movie before, and I don't like the ending of it. When I hear elected officials who come to the United States from other countries, and they are not compatible with the American foundation, if you will, and they come over here and they want to promote the exact failed liberal policies or communist policies that they left behind in their countries, that should perturb each and every one of us. When you hear President Trump, one of the greatest presidents we ever had, I would say that, look, this is a communist. This guy openly wants to promote communist values in our country, and this is not compatible with the foundation of this country. When he wants to have command and control over the economy, forced redistribution of property, these are things that have been tried in Eastern Europe. They were tried in the Soviet Union. They're being tried in Venezuela, Cuba, you name it, and they are complete failure. We must not allow this to spread in the United States because this is not American at all.
Specifically, when you hear Mamdani talk about seizing the means of production, not my words, his words exactly. Does that bring back absolutely horrible memories of your time in communist Albania?
It does, absolutely it does, because when you have forced redistribution of property, you cannot have socialism without brute force of the government. In order for you or someone to implement those policies, you're going to have to use the government agencies to do that. You're going to have to use force to do that. When communism took over Albania and they dispossessed people from their property, they had to use government agencies to do that. They had to arrest people. They had to torture people. They wound up killing people, including my own father, because he will not comply with the requirements or the demands of the communist regime. And this is very dangerous thing to bring to the United States. This is the problem that we are importing into the West. We're bringing cultures that are not compatible with us, that they do not have any regards for the foundation of this country, the Constitution, the founding documents, capitalism. What has made this nation great is being attacked by the people who come here under the pretense that they want to be Americans, and the moment they get the citizenship, some of them, they want to dismantle the system that made them great, actually, and gave them the opportunity to be what they are.
To that point, a lot of the criticism for individuals like Mamdani and also Congresswoman Ilhan Omar is this notion that, in Mamdani's case, his parents, in Omar's case, her, if you hate the country so much, why do you try to come here? And that leads me to this concerning question. Is it to fundamentally change America? Are they coming here in order to change what you and I consider to be America?
Absolutely. I mean, the moment they become American citizens, and if you look at these people who were not born here, including me, when you become an American citizen, you have to complete a form called N-400. At the end of that form, you get sworn in that you will uphold the Constitution of the United States. You will protect and defend the laws of this country. If this guy really got sworn in to become an American citizen and to uphold the Constitution of this country, I think that there is a process that you can denaturalize someone. You can revoke their citizenship if they misled the adjudicator at the time that they became American citizens. And there is nothing wrong with the Department of Justice to look into some of these applications that were filed by these non-American born citizens who are running for office as to whether they are capable or if they want to uphold the Constitution and the laws of this country. Because if you have these people coming from these third world countries and we're importing them, we're importing at the same time the problems that we're facing here. We cannot allow this to happen to this country.
The left is saying, oh, the right and many Democrats are exaggerating the impact of Mamdani, exaggerating the impact he would have. Is it an exaggeration to think that we, in the city of New York, could see Soviet-era red lines if Mamdani's elected?
Well, you could. When what is disturbing is the fact that you have elected officials, and including our state of Connecticut, actually, when you have the governor that says that we are implementing these policies, some of these policies that Mamdani is promoting so far. You have Chris Murphy, who's the United States Senator, actually, who pretty much promotes or embraces what Mamdani stands for. And these elected officials should be our concern that you're embracing these failed liberal policies. That can happen. It happens in our country, in other countries too. Look at Venezuela, one of the richest countries, in the Western Hemisphere at one point. Now people are, fleeing the country. In 2013, Albania, the Socialist Party of Albania came to power again. From 2013 to present, 500,000 people have fled the country. That's 500,000 people. They are fleeing every single day because they cannot afford living in that country. They cannot. They are being oppressed. They are being denied their basic rights. So we have to learn from what's happened in these socialist countries and try to prevent that ideology, which is an evil ideology.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.